On this episode of Gameball NFL Endzone, we're going to recap the forecast of Week 11 in the second segment. With the second half underway of the NFL season, who you got as MVP? Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, Lamar Johnson, or Russell Wilson? We'll talk about that. And of course, third segment will bring you our famous forecast of 4 games to look out for heading into Week 12 of the NFL season. Stick around. Where else you want to be besides right here? And that's Gameball NFL Endzone, and it kicks off now. What's happening, everyone? Welcome to Gameball NFL Endzone, where the football season never ends. I'm Marcus Young Genius Jenkins.
It's your boy, Mike O'Reilly.
And of course, holding it down for our brother Luke Hartnett, who could not be here. And as always, like we always do, we hold each other down. And with that being said, we're going to recap the forecast that happened in Week 11. Of course, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Chargers getting it on in Mexico City. That is a game that's in progress as we present to you this episode. The Houston Texans and the Baltimore Ravens, first and foremost, Mike, Lamar Jackson is a bad man.
He is, but it's the defense that stole the show.
I agree with that. They shut down Deshaun Watson in every single way, did not have a throwing touchdown, did throw an interception in this game as well. Dominant performance. And this is part of the reason why this quarterback and also Deshaun Watson fare as well. We'll talk about both of those names in the second part of our podcast as well. But 41-7 was the score in that game. Not even close from the jump. The Texans would score their only touchdown by Carlos Hyde in the fourth quarter. Dominance. Second game, your boys, the Patriots, of course, coming up with another win over the Philadelphia Eagles, and we'll talk about that game here in just a second. But they would win 17-10 over the Philadelphia Eagles. Your boy, Tom Brady, not very happy with the offense. We'll have you talk about that here in just a second. And the Los Angeles Rams over the Chicago Bears by a score of 7-17. What happened to the defense in that game by Chicago? We'll talk about that, but we're going to rewind just a second, Mike. I'm going to let you talk about your squad. How was New England able to hold on against Philadelphia?
Well, it's the defense. After giving up 37 points, a season high against Baltimore, they had a bye week to prepare, and they went back to basics. They gave up a long drive to the Eagles, was a touchdown. In my opinion, I thought it was an interception. That should have been stuck, but here and there. But after that touchdown, it was no more because they was able to get back to the Patriots defense, causing havocs, 5 to 6 sacks, forced fumble, and special teams play very well. Offensively, it's still a struggle. Tom Brady wasn't happy about it. It's due to the offensive line and the lack of production of tight end. But I feel like they're going to get better and better. Hopefully Isaiah Wynn comes back against Dallas Cowboys. When Isaiah wins at that left tackle spot, that's when the offense opens up more. But he suffered a tough toe injury early parts of the season, so hopefully he's able to play against the Dallas Cowboys. That will help the offensive line out more because Newhouse is just flat out garbage on the left tackle spot. He easily get beat with 3 pinkies or something, like 3 fingers, just tap him and go around and all that stuff. So that offensive line isn't the fault right now, but especially at the left tackle. But once they get Isaiah Wynn, I feel like they'll turn the page more and start the play will start opening more, get better running game. What's been helping them out is the hurry up offense. That's what's helped them out a little more and slow down the pass rush. And New England was able to get the win, bounce back, ranked 9-1 in the season. For Philadelphia, they had their chances. missed opportunities, dropped touchdown pass by Nelson Aguilar, and when Lane Johnson went out of the game with a concussion, that was all a wrap. Belichick was like, we're loading the house and we're blitzing on that side, and that's what they did. And Carson Wentz, after that touchdown, could not recover. The Eagles' defense played well, but the New England Patriots offense played a little bit better, and they was able to score the touchdown, get that win off of a trickery with Julian Edelman throw a touchdown pass to Philip Dorsett. That was a nice spiral pass. So Patriots is being the Patriots, and I like about Josh Daniel, the offensive coordinator, when things get down, he just creates stuff like they don't even practice. He'll just scrap it out, just write it down. This is what we're gonna do. Bam, bam, and 9 times out of 10, it works.
All right, and is that kind of fair to say in a lot of games where it's a good test for the New England Patriots? It's not the fact that they beat you because they're better. They allow you to beat yourself first, and then once they find that weakness, they know how to attack it.
Yes, that's always been the bread and butter. Once you expose yourself, you're pretty much done.
All right, the Patriots moving on forward, 17-10 over Philadelphia, and that's going to take us to the Rams, 17-7 over the Chicago Bears. How were they able to overcome that defense by Chicago?
The Rams defense, ever since acquiring Jalen Ramsey, he's a very big addition to the Rams. That part side of that corner, I think he plays a lot better than Marcus Peters, to be honest with you, because he's smart. He knows how to tackle in space, and his IQ in the passing game is ridiculous. It's phenomenal. That's why they spend the first round pick for next year to get him. So, in my opinion, he's helped that defense tremendously. That gives defensive coordinator Wade Phillips more opportunity to open up defensively and attack the part of the field. And Aaron Donald was just causing a lot of havoc in that defensive line in the backfield, making it hard for Mitch Trubisky and for the Bears offensively. I think you got to look in a new direction, possibly in a quarterback spot. Next year, go get Teddy Bridgewater and get him some weapons, because Burton is out for the season. Robinson ain't doing nothing, and you need to find a general manager who's left it hanging. They have a very talented defense, but the offense is not putting up production. And the reason why the Bears is lack of success because they lost Akeem Nasser, defensive not Knox, but Akeem Nicks, the defensive tackle for the season due to an injury. So without him there, they're vulnerable against the run and the pass. So it's very tough to watch the Bears, especially a talented defense like they are. And offensively, they're not getting production. So you just got to move forward next year. Just look elsewhere, either helping Mr. Trubisky get some weapons, tight end and receiver, or getting a quarterback. In my opinion, Teddy Bridgewater wants to become a free agency.
All right, Chicago Bears still dealing with a lot of issues. The Rams, a big win over them. That's going to do it for this first segment. Coming up, heading into the second half of this NFL season, who you got as MVP? We'll talk about that. Stick around. You do not want to miss that conversation. Gameball Info Endzone. We'll resume in a moment. What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to Gameball NFL Endzone. Now, in this second segment, with the second half of the NFL season, who do you have as MVP? Mike, I got to ask you first. Is it Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson? You got Russell Wilson thrown into that conversation? Or is it Mr. Lamar Jackson? Who do you got?
Well, before I get this started, I want to recognize, and this is history in the making, especially for black athlete quarterbacks, this is huge. 4 black quarterbacks on the MVP conversation. So we gotta give props to that.
Absolutely.
So this has never been done in any sport. Well, NBA of course, but not in the National Football League. So this is the first, and I have to get credit where credit is due to that credential. So big ups to those brothers who playing ball right now. But in my opinion, my MVP has to be Russell Wilson. He is, I don't know what Kool-Aid he's drinking or whatever the flavor that he's putting it in and all that, wherever he's eating it. I don't know. Maybe he's that Sierra sent him singing whatever his wife does to him. I don't know. But he is balling right now. I have to give him the edge over Lamar Jackson. I still haven't seen enough for Lamar Jackson yet when he's down, but Russell Wilson against the number 2 ranked defense came back, won in San Francisco, and he just had fourth quarter comebacks out the yin yang. And Russell Wilson is just like he's putting his team on his back. Ever since from the Legion of Boom days, they gave the keys to Russell Wilson the Ferrari, and so far he hasn't wrecked it yet. So he does with little, but he makes plays when it's crunch time. So he's like Tom Brady, but not the rings quite far. But right now, you have to give it to Russell Wilson because he is balling out of his mind. He makes plays. Most of the time, he makes something out of nothing. So right now, it's Russell Wilson.
I agree with you on that, but I would not be surprised if they give it to Lamar Jackson just because of how he looks as he's winning. He's everywhere. He has 2,258 passing yards, if I'm not mistaken. He's already almost close to 1,000 yards rushing, so he's doing a little bit of everything. They're both 8-2, Seattle and Baltimore respectively, but it's just the highlight reel that Lamar Jackson is. He's bringing that excitement that Patrick Mahomes brought a year ago. He's getting that hype. And unfortunately, in a way, I kind of feel like it is overshadowing Russell Wilson because if there's anybody that is looking like their old self, it's Russell Wilson without a doubt about it. And in that big win over the San Francisco 49ers and handing them the first loss, I don't disagree with anything that you just said. Like, I don't disagree with that at all. But what I'm saying is I would not be surprised if he ends up getting it. Deshaun Watson, I put him forth. Patrick Mahomes hasn't been healthy. And in this defense that Kansas City is showing when he's still putting up MVP-type numbers and making MVP-type passes. Obviously, it's not of the highlight caliber. I feel like in a lot of ways, Patrick Mahomes is looking a little bit more mature. You don't have to make the dynamic play in order to score touchdowns. He's kind of learning how to manage a little bit more, even though I'm kind of disappointed in the coaching staff right now because in certain situations, after everything that Patrick Mahomes has shown you, it seems like they're not trusting him like they did a year ago. And I just think their record right now, they need to win tonight, obviously, or a lot of people are going to be talking about, are we even going to see the Chiefs in the postseason? But I would say I agree with you 1,000% with Russell Wilson. But right now, the most dynamic quarterback and highlight reel quarterback is Lamar Jackson because he's basically emulating in some ways, not every way, but that kind of same hype that Patrick Mahomes did, and the fact that he's not a natural quarterback. He was another position that moved into the quarterback slot, and doing everything that he's doing and the way that they dominated the Houston Texans, I feel like kind of just added more to that topic. With that being said, that was a dope conversation, if I may say, my good brother. And that's going to do it for this segment of Gameball NFL Endzone. Coming up, we're going to bring you the forecast, the top 4 matchups that you got to keep your eye out on heading into Week 12 of the NFL season. Why would you look anywhere else besides right here? Gameball NFL Endzone comes back in a moment. What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to Gameball NFL Endzone. We're going to take you to the third segment and give you the forecast to look out for in Week 12, starting with the Carolina Panthers and the New Orleans Saints. Drew Brees kind of looking like his old self again. How do you like this matchup?
Well, the Carolina Panthers looked embarrassed and pathetic yesterday against the loss against the Atlanta Falcons. That really hurt them. Potentially try to catch the Saints in the division, also in the playoff spot, because NFC is tough to get into the playoffs, so everybody's on edge. So right now, they're on the outside looking in. They have to execute 3 phases: offense, defense, and special teams, going to in that dome against the Saints to win this game. If they can do that, they get the win and keep their playoffs alive. For New Orleans Saints, just do what you do. And after that loss to the Falcons, they bounced back well against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If they can have that same type of game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and then some of the defense, they'll do the same thing against the Panthers.
All right. That's going to take us to... This is I can't wait for the outcome of this game. I can't wait. This game right here is actually making me look forward to next week already. Cowboy Nation taking on the New England Patriots.
I am so ready for this game. I've been waiting for a few years for this game. I am sick of them nonsense Dallas Cowboy fans. Yeah, I said it. That's why you're bad luck in the making. The bad luck's going to get to you, because that black cat on that Monday Night Football been following y'all is going to follow y'all to Fox, bro. So let's break this down. For the Cowboys, offensively, if they want to win on the road against the number 1 ranked defense, the Patriots, you have to take advantage and be aggressive, because Patriots is going to bring 0 blitz coverage. That means you got to have a hot route in the slot to throw it to in the passing game, and you got to win one-on-one matchups. You're going against the best defense and probably the best secondary in NFL, and Stephon Gilmore versus Amari Cooper. I'm waiting to see that matchup, because it's going to be very physical game. And the Cowboys is going to have to rely on Dak Prescott to win this game for them. And defense, take a page of what everybody else is doing against the Patriots offense. Make Tom Brady tap dance in the pocket, make him fragile a little bit, come after him. But the problem is the linebackers have to cover the running backs, because that is a linebacker's nightmare when cover the running back. So we don't know what the Patriots are going to throw at you. It's week-to-week basis. So if the defense can win, offense can score points, then win this game on the road. For the Patriots, offensively, hopefully you get Isaiah Wynn back at that tackle spot. If you get him back at that tackle spot, it opens up more opportunities for Tom Brady to stay in the pocket a little bit more, be aggressive down the field, open more the pass game, and get better in the running game. If I'm the Patriots, no huddle offense, it seems to work, so that's how I'll start off with. And the most key component is special teams. Who will win the special teams battle? Because we know Belichick preaches special teams every time in every practice. So it's going to be a battle, but that black cat's a curse.
And not only moving on from that second game, this is either going to be a game that Cowboys Nation is going to have to just... They're either going to feel really sick about this loss, or this is going to be a game, even though any other phase of the season, nobody in their right mind outside of Cowboys season is going to pick the Cowboys over the Patriots. This is either going to be one of those where they can brag about it for the season, well, at least we beat y'all such and such and such, or... Like I said, the Cowboys, like you said, that black hat curse. You know, Stephen A. Smith's going to have a good time next week on First Take if they lose as well. Mm-hmm. This, to me, is going to be a pretenders or contenders type of game also for the Dallas Cowboys, if I may say on that one as well. Green Bay Packers taking on the tough defense of the San Francisco 49ers. Mike, how can you break this down?
Another good battle. The Green Bay Packers offense versus the San Francisco 49ers defense. I can't wait to watch that matchup. Aaron Rodgers, I mean, it's going to be a tough task of going against that ferocious defense of the San Francisco 49ers. And for the San Francisco 49ers, offensively, they're relying too much on Jimmy G to bail them out. Why don't you just keep running the football and keep it balanced with the passing game? If you do that, you'll open more of the playbook and get more plays going. And they finally got their 2 players back on the offensive line. That's been huge for them. But you got to cut down the turnovers. If you run that ball more, chances are turnovers are likely to happen. And defenses keep being you. Yes, you struggle against the Arizona Cardinals. They was able to score points, but they was able to make plays, though. You're going to have to start off fast against the Green Bay Packers offense because Aaron Rodgers would take advantage of it. Now, defensively for the Packers, you have to slow down the rushing game of the San Francisco 49ers, force Jimmy G to beat you and force him to make mistakes. If you could do that defense and offensively for the Packers keep rolling, and they finally got Devontae Adams back in the lineup, get him going and get that running game going, they can get a win on the road.
All right. Tough task for the Green Bay Packers indeed against that tough number 2 defense with San Francisco. And that's going to take us to another great matchup, and that is one of the quarterbacks we just talked about, Mr. Lamar Jackson, and taking his Ravens to the Los Angeles Rams. What do you like about this matchup?
Well, don't look at the record by the Rams. This is don't let that fool you. This is a tough test for Lamar Jackson. He's going across country in LA, which that has affected a certain degree. He's going very against a good defense. And Aaron Donald can wreak havoc anytime. So they'll have to be precise and be physical offensively. And against that secondary and Jalen Rams, you bet not even thinking about throwing it his way because he's going to make you play. They're going to play aggressive. So it's a matter of ball control and attacking them in the middle of the field. If you can do that, you keep that rolling, then you're able to score points. Now defensively, for Marcus Peters is going back to the LA Rams, you're going to have to make the offense look average. And Brandon Cooks has not been there dealing with concussion issues. That's kind of a blow. So you're going to have to rely a little bit more on the running game to win this game and be consistent in the passing game. Now for the Rams defense, I am blitzing and stopping that option pass. You have one of the best defenders. You line up anywhere and he is quick to the ball. And the Ravens offensive line is going to have some trouble dealing with him and his quickness. It can be done, but can it be done? That's what I'm saying. So if the Ravens be able to stop the Rams front seven, get back to the backfield, and able to score points, they can win this game. And for the Rams defense, you have to slow down that running game. You have to let Lamar Jackson beat you. If you let Lamar Jackson beat you with a passing game, then so be it. But that creates more opportunities for turnovers in that department.
All 4 of these games definitely have strong cases as being the toughest matchups. Maybe I'll put the Panthers and the Saints maybe last because it's the Panthers and they're not where they can be. But with that being said, we're going to take this to the predictions part of the episode, starting with the Panthers and the Saints. Do the Saints go marching on?
Yes, they're at home in that dome. Lucas picked the Saints to win, and I'm going to join that bandwagon. It's too much for Carolina Panthers at this point, so I'm going to say 33-17 Saints at home.
I agree with you. Chris McCaffrey has been great for the most part, but the fact that they're still not 100% going against the Saints, I agree with you as well. I'm going to say 24. I'll say 24-14. I like New Orleans in this one. I mean, I have to officially ask, but I already know the answer. But Patriots and Cowboys, who you got?
I'm going my Patriots to beat up them Dallas Cowboys. And Luke picked the Patriots as well. This is why I say the Dallas Cowboys are a bad luck at making. That black cat from the Stephen King horror movie Pet Sematary, the curse is real and is going to follow them into Foxborough and get him. The L Cowboy Nation, yes, I said you're going to suffer another loss, and I will enjoy it. It'll be my pleasure watching the Cowboys fans suffer. So I'm going to say 35-14, Patriots get it done at home. They find a way offensively to get it done and put up more points. Isaiah Wynn comes back, so I'm going to go to that department.
I don't see the Cowboys. This is probably arguably the toughest test that Dak Prescott has had to face, and that is going into Foxborough in November, mind you, taking on the Patriots. I think this is probably going to be one of the most frustrating performances by Dak Prescott. I think it's going to be a dominant performance as well. I like this to be 28. I say 28-14. I like the Patriots in this one. Green Bay, San Francisco, who you got?
I got San Francisco at home. It's just that crowd noise, and it's going to be a good game, but I feel like San Francisco is going to have the last the last play of the game, have the ball for the final minutes, and I'll just say San Francisco edges out the Green Bay Packers on a late field goal, 27-24 San Francisco, and Luke has picked the Green Bay Packers to win.
My gut kind of wants to go with the Packers because it's Aaron Rodgers, and this is also his time of year. The San Francisco 49ers, I just think that defense, though, is too tough. I just don't know if Garoppolo is going to be able to outgun Aaron Rodgers, though. I don't see that. But at the same time, the way that Matt Moore, not trying to go back a couple weeks, but the way that Matt Moore in some ways was able to have his way over the Green Bay defense, I think he might just have a way to do so with the San Francisco 49ers. I'm gonna say 21-17 is gonna be my final score. I'm gonna choose the Green Bay Packers because I'm gonna go with my heart feeling. Something tells me Green Bay is gonna find a way to pull this one out. Baltimore Ravens, Los Angeles Rams. Does Lamar's magic kind of take a pause for a second against the Rams?
I think it does because of the climate travel from the East Coast to the West Coast will have some effect to it. I just feel like the Rams played well against the Bears. I feel like Jalen Ramsey brought that confidence, that swagger into that defense. Is going to feed off everybody. I see the Rams sneak this one out in a very close game. And it's going to cause Lamar Jackson problems. And this is going to be a tough task for him to go. And he's got more tough tasks. He's got to face the 49ers. And he's also got to face the Cardinals and the rest of the division of the AFC North. So I'm going to say the Rams win this one, a nail-biter, 24-21. And Luke has picked the Baltimore Ravens to win.
I'm torn. I'm not even going to lie. I'm torn on this one. This is a great test for Lamar Jackson, no question about it. But we thought the Houston Texans were going to be a tough test for him, and he and that Ravens defense diced them apart. I think the Rams defense can cause problems for Jared Goff. I think they will, and Jared Goff is a fantastic quarterback, but I also think if the Baltimore Ravens can get Mark Ingram involved early, which I think they will, that's going to open up that field. I know it's in Los Angeles. It's Hollywood. LeBron and the Lakers might be at that game. You might even see Kawhi Leonard. You never know who's going to be at that game. But I'm going to say Lamar Jackson's going to find a way to get this one done. I just think that offense, this may be the reason why this team actually may find their way in the AFC Championship game, because they have an offense that is very talented, but they also have a defense to back it up. Someday, maybe the Kansas City Chiefs will figure that out when you have a quarterback, and I'm not trying to go off topic, but you have an offense that can win you multiple championships, but you have the defense that you could take to a local boys club and couldn't hold a bunch of second graders. But that's a different topic. But I'm going to say the Baltimore Ravens will get this one done. Give me a score of 27-21. I think they'll find a way to get it done in LA. That's going to do it for this segment of Gameball Info Endzone. Thank you for tuning in, as always. And for always, social media, you can find me on Facebook, Marcus Jovel ENT Jenkins. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, at JovelENT, that's Snapchat _
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Gmail, YouTube, all on the left side. It'll be your right side over this way, my right to your left, left to right, vice versa. Excuse me for that. Follow social media platforms, and don't forget to get your gear at gameballshop.ecwid.com. That's gameballshop.ecwid.com. And we can't forget our other brother Luke, who couldn't be here. Facebook, Instagram as Luke Harnett, and on Twitter as Luke Harnett 2.
I'm Marcus Young Genius Jenkins.
It's your boy Michael Riley.
And as always, thank you guys for tuning in. We could not do this without you. But this has been officially another episode in the books of Gameball Info Endzone. We'll see you next week.